video, and this one's gonna be a little bit different because I got really great revelation on my life and how God is really dealing with me with self-sabotage. So if you know anyone dealing with self-sabotage, send them this video. And if you don't know what self-sabotage is, I can just give you a few characteristics of what it might look like in your everyday life. So self-sabotage will be someone who has a good thing going, but when it gets really good, they start to psychologically freak out. So they start overthinking. That's number one. They overthink. Number two, they will start thinking of ways to end it and be like, you know what, this is not going to work out. They come up with excuses to get rid of it. They start to come up with plans to just leave and abandon it. A lot of times it's from fear of being hurt because in past areas in their life, they have been rejected and hurt. And so they don't want that to happen again. So they come up with things in their life to go ahead and leave and to save themselves. They be like, oh no, I'll just leave because I don't want to get hurt again. And I'm good. And you know, this was nice. But so they miss out on all the good opportunities for any future reasons just because they're afraid of being exposed to anything good, or it's not even being exposed to anything good. They're afraid of being hurt. So the likely chance of anything good happening because of new chances, they'll miss it because they don't want to be hurt. The risk taking, they won't. If it's for a job opportunity, they weigh the odds. They'll go for it. Some people will. Some who are really, really into self-sabotage, who are really just reserved and do not want to grow, who's been hurt severely, will not. And they will sever in all areas in their life, sever all great new beginnings and all odds, because life is full of beginnings and endings. So you have to end some things and start new ones. So I'm one of those people, and I'm being healed from self-sabotage. And what God showed me is that it stemmed from having self-esteem issues. And thank God that I've been healed from that too. So, but what I learned is you can be healed for something and still have the residue of it. And what I mean by residue, I mean that you can have the characteristics and the thought process left. That means that doesn't discount your healing, but you also have to be mindful that you have to unlearn the patterns of what you've done before. So if you were a person who loved to steal, you are a kleptomaniac. Okay, you stole a lot. You've been delivered from that. You don't steal no more. But now you have to unlearn the characteristics and the urges to steal. You've been delivered and you believed in your healing, but now you have to unlearn the characteristics and the desires of doing that. So I have to unlearn all the patterns that made me want to be and do that one thing again. Now, it is some areas in life where you become delivered and you're done. But it is some areas that takes years of being in that bondage, and it takes sometimes years of unlearning that bondage behavior. Key word was bondage behavior. You're not still in bondage, but it's bondage behavior. So, in this video, we're talking about Gomer. And what I love about the story of Gomer is that I never saw in this perspective until God revealed it to me. Gomer was a prostitute. And what I learned is a lot of women back in the biblical days were. And God always redeemed them in such mighty ways. If you look at the story of Rahab, she was a prostitute. Not only was that, she was a big one. Okay, baby, she had a house. Like, she was running a business outside, like, in her house. Like, what wrong? Like, she ran a business. And when she decided to save and help Joshua and the whole Israelite people, when she decided to help them, she fell on in with them. She ended up getting the promise that God had for them. And so God redeemed her. And not only did he redeem her in just in wealth, but he redeemed her in the bloodline of Jesus. Hello, Rahab, a prostitute in the genealogy of Jesus. That means you can be healed from any type of sexual sin. You can be delivered from that. That's a different story on a different day. So when then you look at Gomer, who was a woman, who was a prostitute, who cheated on her husband on numerous occasions. And so what I learned was that her name meant complete. And I was like, I don't understand. Her name ain't complete, but she was out here doing things that just wasn't of you. And it didn't make sense. And it didn't hit me until this week that God said she didn't see who she was because she didn't feel that she was worthy. Check this out. So in the story of Hosea was supposed to be a symbol of Christ. And Gomer was supposed to be a symbol of the church. How many times have we ever felt that we are unworthy to be with Jesus? And we self-sabotage ourselves because we feel like we cannot be with him because we are not worthy. That's exactly how she felt. She felt that she wasn't worthy, so she self-sabotaged herself so she wouldn't be with him. That didn't work though. As many times as she cheated on him, Hosea did not leave her. He did not divorce her. He stayed with her. And Christ was showing me when you self-sabotage yourself, it's like a cry for help. It's like, don't look at me, I'm not worthy. Don't look at me, like you're telling yourself that. And God's saying, that's not true. Because not only do I call you worthy, I call you loved, chosen, and redeemed. And so the story of Gomer was so good to me because she had an identity issue. She couldn't see past what she was doing because being a prostitute was her profession, not who she was. Listen, what you are doing is not who you are. That's just what you're doing. I want you to listen to that again. If you got to go back and double tap back so you can hear that. Whatever your action is an action. It's describing what you're doing. It's not who you are. So she couldn't get past the fact that she was out here doing such derogatory actions. And she think, this is a mighty man. Why did you choose to marry me? You are, in essence, making me look even worse than I already am. So she felt shame. She felt unworthy. She felt like she was just trash. So she behaved like it. How many times do we feel like we are trash and behave like it? And so you feel as though that you're trash. So you live below the curve of your esteem. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't worry. I just preached to me too when he told me that. I was in my room like, here I go just thinking, oh, this is just a normal story. No, it's not. Gomer was a woman who was struggling with identity and worth because she felt like because of her actions, she should not be married to such a worthy man. Your action does not identify the reason why Jesus died for you. He died for you because he loved you. And that's just point blank and period. And do not ever think that your actions solidify the love that he has for you. He loves you good, bad, wrong, indifferent. And that's going to be to the end of time. And I want you to keep that in mind of all things that you do going forward, here and now. And even when sometimes the enemy want to give you memories of your past. And when you see your past, you know what you can tell your past? Thank you for showing me that even when I was doing that, he loved me then. So it's the power that the love of God had loved me in my sins because I chose Jesus because he loved me. He loved literally the hell out of me. I don't want to do bad because I want to please him. Not because, oh, I have to. I want to. It's a desire to want to live for him. And that's all Jesus wants you to do is to choose him. To choose a better life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't want you to feel unworthy. Don't look at the magnitude of how mighty he is, but look at his love he had for you. And the first sign of his love was the cross. I love you guys, and I will continue this on. This is just debunking self-sabotage because we won't have self-sabotage any longer. That's not going to be my portion, and that won't be yours either. I love you guys.